Last Wednesday we had Tico Talks and he gave us quite a lot of info, but on from that we have some more dev news, particularly about our dimensional trials, blessing stacking, our currency conversion rates to tier 2, Saurodoma and Shadowed Crypt chests, and a touch on the new blue gear. And yes, a bug fix to the 8k free tokens. Now, even with Tico Talks itself, there was some missing info that can be quite important, along with when we can expect new content like Interserver Sieges, 12-player raids, and some other minor extra details with regards to the new changes. So let's go through everything in this video. As you may have noticed, Dimensional Trials are completely gone, no longer available. It has been announced March the 27th will bring Season 2, which will be Purple Runes and 3-star Dungeon Trials. But if we check our weekly missions, you may have noticed they still say we have to complete Dimensional Trials to get, say, these rune chests. So how are we supposed to achieve that? Well, the community managers have acknowledged this and pushed it to the devs to discuss it. On top of that, we got a news post that the team is working on the Dimensional Trial rewards. Many of you are missing, say, the title. I believe that's with the morphs as well, with Arena. And yes, in terms of blessing stacking, there will be no change for that with tier 2. You'll be able to use your blessings and that's totally fine. But then the new token conversions. So you may have seen all of these currencies will be getting condensed down and literally all of them being converted to just a tier 1 currency, excluding arena coins. This is all our 2-star dungeon soul shards, all our 1-star dungeon soul shards, including the dimensional essence and abyss coins. The exact exchange rate is here, so every 1-star dimensional soul shard will become 1 tier 1 token, and every abyss coin will also be 1 tier 1 token. This is actually pretty valuable. And then the 2-star dimensional soul shards will be 2 tier 1 tokens, and the dimensional essence will be 60 tier 1 tokens. And this is completely fair right there because it requires 60 soul shards to craft one. And also rest assured, your chests will also be converted to those tier 1 tokens. You don't have to go, say, open them all now. These will automatically get converted too. However, I'm not 100% sure about the random matchmaking bonus packs here. See, this one has a chance to drop you these dimensional essences. Will they convert this entire pack to, say, a chest that's going to give you 1 extra tier 1 token and then a 7% chance to give you 60? That could be very likely. And they also state to be rest assured that if you want to use your tokens for trade unlock stones, it will be equal value whether you do that now or later after this conversion. And yeah, it checks out with all of these listings here. You can see it's 6 1-star dungeon soul shards for 3 unlock stones, or it's 5 2-star dungeon soul shards for 5 trait unlock stones. So with this in mind, it's very likely 2 tier 1 tokens will be the equivalent of 1 trait unlock stone, which is actually really good for things like abyss coins. Now, every 2 abyss coins is a trait unlock stone, along with dimensional essence now being 30 trait unlock stones worth. Whereas before, it was just that, the essence, you couldn't do anything other than craft weapons with it or purchase these chests. So overall, that is great news to hear. But the next thing to jump to is the abyss chest stacking. So you may have seen in my previous video where I covered how people can basically refresh the timer on their contract token selection chests. These are obtained through nighttime PvP in the Shadowed Crypt and also on Saurodoma Island, and they allow you to open those chests and gain these extra dimensional contract tokens. You can choose for 2-star or 1-star dungeons. And so people can save up thousands of these, particularly if they were on a dead server for quite a while, and ultimately save them up for tier 2, when we get potentially the 2-star dungeon update, which would add tier 2 gear to the loot tables. So you could gain a significant advantage by being able to play these a lot more than the average player because you saved all that currency. On top of going for the activity you get by opening chests in these dungeons, and thus going for guild ranking to, say, get Stoneguard Castle, as that has been reset. We will now need to farm activity again to become the first defenders. So the dev's statement on this is that they will be limiting you to a maximum of 65 abyss chests. Any chest exceeding this limit will be removed. And for each chest removed, you'll receive a 1 tier 1 token as compensation. Not much, but it's a little something, and you can use those tokens, yes, for crafting tier 1 gear or trait unlock stones. Again, every 2 tier 1 tokens is 1 trait unlock stone. The remaining 65 chests will have an expiration date of March the 13th. And this will all be happening with March 6th update. So, if you have an excess of 65 chests from Saurodoma and Shadowed Crypt, you may want to use them sooner than later. Or you can just save them and every 2 chests is a trait unlock stone. That's up to you. And they understand that this isn't ideal news for some players, and they sincerely apologize for the frustration this may cause. However, these chests were never intended to be accumulated in this way, and they feel it is necessary in order to maintain an equal playing field to align with the original design intent as they move forward. And yeah, they confirm there was indeed a bug that allowed you to reset the timers. So you basically had tons of chests and they were not expiring. I discussed this in just my previous video. Now on from that, we have learned of new tier 2 blue gear coming. And this guy asks the question whether you can use that blue gear for a 1% or 10% chance to successfully trait a 2 tier purple gear, as this can be quite important then for upgrading traits. And the dev's response was they're not going to really answer because they want to leave it as, say, something players can discover themselves on launch day. And knowledge is power, and it doesn't seem right that the info will get pushed out in, say, fragments across Discord, Reddit, etc. and not everybody knowing because it's not yet in game. And then these free 8,000 Abyss contract tokens. Well, they've apparently gone and fixed it. You can check for yourself, but this guy also went and confirmed it. He was sitting at 0 contract tokens, logged out for more than 3 hours and logged back in and didn't gain the 8,000. Some of you were pointing out that it was very likely a bug related to like a leveling up where you would reach a certain point, unlock Abyss dungeons and get, say, 8,000 for free because you had none. And this could have been a result of that. It's just really weird that it's only getting fixed now. Like, I guess probably as a result of me reporting it and making it a lot more well known. But there were definitely players abusing this for months and months and months. And they have like maximum mastery levels on a ton of weapons. And this is definitely how. There's no way you could get enough contract tokens for that otherwise. But now jumping to the extra notes on Tico's Talks that was posted here on the Korean website. This is originally Korean, so excuse some error in translations, but you can see some extra info with, say, the field bosses. If there is, say, an odd number of guilds signed up, they can potentially end up in a 1v1v1 scenarios, 3 guilds against each other. And basically, you're going to have these portals spawning, peace, faction, war, and there's going to be a 5-minute waiting area once you've entered, say, the portal, and before it all begins, the portals will close. So you only can choose one option, and that's it. You can't, say, finish your peace boss early and then jump into a war one. And these instances are actually all going to be inter-server matchmaking, which is great, which means it's completely irrelevant what server you're on, and ultimately we will have to give it a bit of time before, say, the guild portals are properly balanced, as they'll have to train their system and collect data on guilds. And also, if you have a very volatile guild, your matchmaking might be a bit screwed as well. In terms of combat improvements, we did get some more notes that they will also be increasing the distance you can actually target somebody. So this is getting increased to 50 meters versus just 40 meters. Additionally, the raid frame system will allow you to select up to 48 party members to share their status with each other. And then we do have some more information on, say, one-man dungeons. There'll be no time limit to clear a level. There will be a total of 8 bosses, 2 of which we will get on March the 5th. A week later, we get 2 more. The bosses will change every week, and there are 5 difficulty levels. There will be regular battle sections, simple gimmicks, sections requiring movement control, so like parkour, and some bosses with strong puzzle elements. But then Interserver Sieges. This is being scheduled to be updated in May. And these will be held every other week, so every second week. So if you're defenders of a castle, you will have siege every single week. And then 12-player raids. This has also been moved to May. This is most likely to align with then Global, when we'll also get this, along with Interserver Sieges, as that does somewhat fit our timeline, and we'll probably be ready for it by then. They apologize for the delay, as they intended to actually release these earlier on Korea. There will be a normal and hard mode requiring, yes, the unity of 12 players, and you will be only able to conquer it, say, once a week. And you will have like intermediate save functions based on the death of the boss. And there are 3 structures: the Ruins of Oblivion, Hall of Sorrow, and the Altar of Resurrection. And there will also be like a skill specific to a raid leader. But that's pretty much everything. I'll leave a link in the video description. You can read through this extensively yourself, but it's ultimately like a summary of everything in Tico Talks with, again, what we just covered, some extra info. Ultimately, I hope this gives you some insights on certain things. Again, the full conversion currency rates here, and they will ultimately be of equal value, whether you do it now or later. And on a side note, I didn't realize so many people actually view posts on Reddit. I did this 7 hours ago. And yes, this post does confirm that these tokens can be used for crafting tier 1 gear or trade unlock stones, and unlikely anything else. Tico did say we will be able to earn tier 2 tokens, but not until the release of Talandre, and it will very likely get introduced into the 2-star dungeons and then the new 3-star dungeons, along with probably other areas. Like they did say, the arena would also allow you to purchase those tier tokens, along with obtaining some from the reworked weekly missions. But yes, that's everything for this video. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.